Ian, you know, we bought this house 1904 here in Georgetown, Ontario, and has not seen a lot of the energy efficiency upgrades that, say, a modern new build has, or houses that have been renovated over the last few decades. So this house we knew was super leaky. In the course of our renovation and restoration, we've added a bunch of insulation, put in a new air and vapor barrier, but it's all the little manual sealing of all the little gaps and crevices and holes that add up to air leakage.
Right.
In our last house, which was built in 1889, so a little bit older than this house, we did all that manually. So I spent the better part of a year and a half, knee pads on, caulking gun in hand, foam always at the ready.
Right.
And when it came time to this house, we said there's gotta be a better way to do it. And so in a lot of our research we did on air sealing and high performance building, particularly in an older vintage home like this, we found AeroBarrier. And so that's where you guys came into the picture. And so today we're air sealing this house, but maybe explain what AeroBarrier is and what we're doing.
Yeah, so we're gonna minimize those hundreds of hours into a time about 3 hours for you. And the way that AeroBarrier works is we're gonna pressurize the home. So you can imagine yourself, if you're blowing up a balloon and you're putting pressure in the balloon, it's gonna try to balloon up as much as possible. And say there's gaps and cracks in that balloon, you're gonna feel that air pressure leaking out. That's exactly what we're gonna do with your house. We're gonna pressurize it. That air is gonna try to escape through all the gaps and cracks. And at the same time, we're gonna mist in a sealant. That sealant's gonna use that air as its transportation to all those gaps and cracks and start to seal and collect all around it, that we fill those up. And at the same time, we're gonna take some live readings. And it's gonna show us getting the house tighter and tighter and tighter.
So we're about an hour run time. The house is 25% tighter.
Yep.
But we also just found a bunch of big holes around the house that now we're going back and manually sealing.
That's the great thing about AeroBarrier is it's going to take care of all those small little holes.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be a great diagnostic tool for those larger holes that were missed, maybe by the trades. They ran a cord, they forgot to spray foam it. Now we can go back, find those, and take care of those leaks ourselves.
That's awesome. And so we just put in new heat pump here.
Yep.
We're getting ready to call this place home, our forever home. We should notice that that heat pump runs more efficiently because we can more easily maintain the indoor conditions. We should notice that less pollution, better indoor air quality.
Yep.
Less pests and rodents coming in, all those little holes blocked up.
Exactly.
And I think most importantly, maybe just more comfort. I mean, we did spend one winter in this home, and the giraffes blowing past your neck while watching a movie at night, even little bits of snow blowing in under the front door, all of that stuff we're getting tightened up today.
Exactly.
What else should we be looking for in terms of improvements and how it changes the house?
Well, another thing that we should note is because you've added that insulation, we need to make sure that we are more airtight, because that air inside is now going to be nice and warm during your winter season. And if it does find an air leakage gap, it's going to be able to start condense. So it's going to bring more durability as well to your build that you just worked on.
Sure. Yeah. We started this morning, I think, over 10 air changes per hour.
Yep.
Just before we came back here, we were approaching 5.
Yep, so almost at the 50% mark, which
That's
is
amazing.
What we're kind of looking for.
Yeah.
It's typically on average is what we see is about a 50% reduction.
Great.
So yeah, we're going to be pretty excited if we can get to that 5 air change mark and maybe a little bit below.
Cool. So we'll run it for another hour or so.
Yep.
See if we can break 5, maybe even a little bit more.
Yep.
And this house should be a lot more airtight by the end of that session.
Exactly.
Cool.
How are you feeling about it?
It's awesome. The data doesn't lie, so it's one of those things that's largely invisible, but makes a huge difference, right? Ian, thanks so much for the AeroBarrier team helping out today.
No problem. Appreciate you having us on site.
Yeah, it's going to make a massive difference. We'll have you back here in the winter when it's warm and toasty.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
See ya. I'm Kevin, and along with my wife Sarah, run the Instagram account Read More House, and we are restoring our 1904 home to be more energy efficient and bring back some of its original character. Today we had AeroBarrier in, and they helped us air seal the house. We basically took the house from over 10 air changes per hour this morning to about 3.5 by the end of the day. And that means this house is going to be way more comfortable, way more energy efficient going forward. So we're really excited about this big step that we took for the house and what it means for its future.